Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to our WOW Wednesday chat for new troop volunteers. Um, we're gonna get started very soon, and I thank you for your patience. We'll be back momentarily. Okay. Thanks for being patient. And before we get started, I'll give you a brief introduction on the technology we're using today. But first of all, to make sure that everybody can hear me, um, if you wouldn't mind, write a word about how your day was today in the question log. Okay, busy. Oh, Amanda, I get it. I totally understand. So thank you so much for that. Um, let's see. Okay, so um, just so you know, we are we are using GoToWebinar technology today, and you should have a control panel in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And on this control panel, you'll notice a few things. You can see which of your Girl Scout sisters are on this call on the attendee list. Now, sometimes that's not always viewable, so you may not see that. In addition, you've got a question log, and at any time throughout the webinar, you can type a question or comment into this log, and we'll do our best to respond to those questions throughout this session. And we'll probably have to limit questions in order to honor your time. So just a reminder also, this webinar is being recorded, and the link will be uploaded to the GSNEO YouTube page, just in case somebody was registered and couldn't make it, or in case you'd like to rewind and listen again. It probably won't be up until tomorrow morning, though. All right. And lastly, everyone's line is muted in order to minimize the background noise. But if you'd like to be unmuted, you can just raise your virtual hand. And you do this by clicking the hand raising icon on your control panel. It looks like a round blue button with a yellow hand inside. And when you click it, it raises your virtual hand, and then I'll unmute your line, one participant at a time. Now, I will tell you, right now, we don't have very many people on the line, but we may be having some join us shortly. So we're very glad you joined us this evening. So I guess I ought to first take a moment also to introduce myself. My name is Barb Anzalone, and I'm the Senior Manager of Volunteer Support and Services. I've been a Girl Scout for approximately 24 years. I was a Girl Scout Brownie for 2 years, and so most of my Girl Scout experience has been as an adult. Prior to joining the GSNEO staff a little over 3 years ago, I was a volunteer just like you. During that time, I served as a troop leader for a group of kindergarten through 12th, for a group that went kindergarten through 12th graders. I did not have a multi-age troop. And I believe that the quote on the slide rings true when I think about or see these phenomenal young women and all that they've achieved. I'm so very proud of each one of them. And what makes me even prouder is that Girl Scouts had a little something to do with their successes today. During those years as a volunteer, I also served as a service unit organizer, an event coordinator, a service unit director, and an adult learning facilitator. It was fun, it was challenging, and most of all, it was purposeful. One of my greatest joys in my Girl Scouting professional career is having the opportunity to work with volunteers on a daily basis. And I am so in awe of all the things that you do for the girls and adults in your communities. And I love supporting you as you help the girls achieve their dreams. I believe it's an honor and privilege, and I can't wait to see how you will discover, connect, and take action as you continue to develop your leadership skills and spread Juliet's dream for girls. Also with me this evening, I'm fortunate to have Katie Corbett, Community Membership Executive, by my side, and her smile is always a joy in the office, and I know her service units really appreciate all she does. So Katie, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone. Like Barb said, I'm Katie and I work in the community, mostly in Cleveland and some of the surrounding Cuyahoga suburbs. And you might know me because I'm out and about, but I have been a Girl Scout since kindergarten, and I went all the way through. I got my Gold Award as a 12th grader, which was awesome. And I definitely dedicate my love of adventure to Girl Scouting. I was able to bike from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, all the way to Washington, D.C. with the Girl Scouts.
Wow.
Which is about 200 miles, and we did it in 4 days. It's probably my favorite memory. But I really love working with all of my volunteers and be out and about with Girl Scouts still.
Well, thanks so much for helping me out this evening. I really appreciate it. So this evening, our Wow Wednesday chat is all about let's celebrate, and celebrating our Girl Scout holidays and our ceremonies. And so, why do we celebrate? The reasons are infinite. It's summer vacation. It's my birthday. It's not really, but I get pretty psyched when it is. And hey, the Browns won. I would really be psyched if the Browns won anything. But ceremonies help us to celebrate the good times and, yes, to even memorialize the bad times. Ceremonies and traditions bind us together as a family, a group, a nation, and help us feel connected. In Girl Scouting, ceremonies and traditions give Girl Scouts a sense of our history and inspire us to be the best that we can be. The Girl Scout ceremonies also, they recognize accomplishments. They pass on these traditions, and they give meaning to the special days and reinforce the values of the Girl Scout promise and law. Sharing traditions with millions of Girl Scouts and the huge network of Girl Scout alumni who came before them helps to remind the girls and and in fact the adults that we belong to a big, powerful sisterhood. Wouldn't you agree, Katie?
Yes, I always love celebrating with my Girl Scout sisters. It's always a fun time.
Always fun, and making it a memory.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about, the basics of ceremonies.
So Girl Scout ceremonies can be planned on a grand scale, or they can be planned on a smaller scale. Either way, the ceremonies help Girl Scouts mark special events throughout the year, such as bridging to another level, earning a National Leadership Journey Award, getting a Girl Scout pin, to mark a beautiful sunset, or to celebrate the spirit of friendship. Ceremonies can commemorate accomplishments or add something special to the beginning or end of a group's meeting. Girls can plan ceremonies around a theme, such as friendship or nature, and express themselves in words or song. Whatever the purpose, every Girl Scout ceremony helps girls share in the Girl Scout history and traditions, and creates their own special memories. From my experience, it's always most exciting and meaningful to have fun ceremonies that share with the same elements that make a good story. Think of your favorite novel, a play, or a TV show. Good storytellers use the following ingredients to make their stories come alive. Every story has a purpose. The purpose of a ceremony is the main or controlling event. The mood and atmosphere. This will establish the tone of the ceremony. Is it a serious, reflective, lighthearted, or humorous? Mood is the way to affect your audience during the ceremony. What can we do to set the mood? Can we play music? Have decorations, candles?
And with candles, we always want to remember that, hey, substitutions are good too. You know, you might need to use flashlights.
Flashlights are always good, or glow sticks even.
Glow sticks.
Are your girls going to be dancing or telling stories? Those are also good ways to set the mood. Every story has characters. The role that each participant plays in the ceremony is important, and each person should have the opportunity to express herself in some way during the ceremony. This doesn't have to always be a speaking part. Some girls like to be in charge of the decorations or the invitations. Be sure to have plenty of opportunities for the girls to shine in their own way. Have them use their own diverse talents and interests, and they will participate more readily.
You know, and I think that's so important, Katie, because not every girl is ready to stand up in front of a group of people, but maybe she will excel at writing a poem or feels really good about doing the decorations. And I think, you know, if we utilize those talents and we build that confidence slowly, then, you know, by the end of the year or a couple of years, she may be ready to, you know, recite something or to speak in front of that group. Yeah, and I think that's just important. I remember a young lady in my troop who she was so quiet through many years, and then all of a sudden through Girl Scouting, she blossomed, and it's incredible. You can't get her to stop speaking today.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a huge part of Girl Scouting to be able to gain confidence, to talk in front of people. I know I definitely give Girl Scouting, like that's the reason I can do public speaking and things. But girls lead in their own way. You know, we always think of the leader as somebody who's talking in front of people, but
Right.
you know, the leader can also be the person who's making the banner or organizing something behind the scenes.
And they all get to share in that ceremony some part of it.
Yeah,
so.
That's huge.
Yeah, and then we want to remember that, you know, having a setting is important, and you know, because the time and the place of a ceremony can have a big impact on it. And you know, it needs to fit the size of the group. I've been to very large ceremonies where there may be 150 people at a bridging ceremony, and you know, the small sanctuary or the small room at the library just may not work. You know, so we want to be aware of that, so that it can accommodate the plans, the group, and the activities. And then the theme. You know, every story has a theme, and every ceremony has a theme. So, you know, and it can be carried out in many ways, as Katie mentioned earlier, through readings and skits and humor and songs and just you know, whatever it has meaning to the girls. So, so you know, to those on the phone, you know, what type of themes are on the call tonight? What type of themes can you think of to celebrate? Amanda, Deanna, I can unmute you if you'd like to say something. Oh, maybe I can. Amanda, are you there? Okay, well, we'll move on because we must have a shy group. They were very talkative this afternoon at
We're
noon.
after dinner.
Or yeah,
Food coma.
maybe they're in their food coma, or they're just tired from a long day. So then the next thing, we want to be sure that there are certain parts of a ceremony, and we want to make sure that ceremonies have three basic parts. An opening, this is where the guests are welcomed. The purpose of the ceremony is stated, and it sets the mood. This is where we set the mood of the ceremony. Is it a very serious ceremony? Is it a silly ceremony? Is it just something that the girls have thrown together at the last moment? So it just depends on the theme and the mood. And the second part is what we refer to as the main part. And this is where the girls have developed the theme or the main idea of the ceremony using different resources, such as the dialogue, songs. They may recite a poem or anything. And then the closing. This part of the ceremony may include forming a friendship circle, saying goodbye, thanking special gifts or guests, maybe presenting the girls with a token of some sort, and singing just one last song. And I know, like, for instance, Kim Klima, she loves singing, so there's always a song at the end of a ceremony. But a ceremony may be informal, taking only a few minutes to prepare, or it may be a more formal nature and requiring advanced preparation. So if it is a more serious or more formal ceremony, you also want to make sure that you're putting some planning time in there and some rehearsal time, especially if it's like a Court of Awards or investiture, rededication. Oh, Amanda just let me know that she's on her mic, or she's on her PC with no mic. Okay, Amanda, not a problem. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, though, either. So also, with ceremonies, there are a lot of symbols that we can utilize in ceremonies. And so, just to mention a few, if you want a list, you're more than welcome to email me and I can give you a list. They're probably noted on GSUSA, the traditions page. But an archway, whether it's a balloon archway or, the girls in two parallel lines with their hands up in the air, to form an archway. That symbolizes, entering a different atmosphere or phase of the ceremony. Let's see, there are other, a friendship circle symbolizes the unbroken chain of friendship and Girl Scouts and Girl Guides all over the world. The Girl Scout handshake, it symbolizes the hello or a welcome to people. Katie, do you remember any?
Well, definitely the bridge. The idea that whether you're actually using a real bridge for your ceremony and you walk over the creek, or maybe you borrow one of the bridges that we have at some of the service centers here.
Yeah.
Just to symbolize that the girls are crossing over, they're aging up. And they're going to their next step of Girl Scouting. That was always something that sticks in your mind throughout the years. We always use the rainbow whenever we would do an activity or a ceremony, something like that, just to symbolize unity and diversity and what we were doing as girls.
Yeah, and we use the rainbow a lot in our balloons, our balloon arches, or even like on the food tables. We would do it with cupcakes and make the rainbow, and all the cupcakes were different colors. So, and something as simple as a piece of string, that symbolizes the human line and, the binding of all humanity. So there are a lot of symbols in Girl Scouting. So let's see, we do have a question. This is my first year as a leader, so this is also overwhelming on how to run a multi-age troop. Brownie second year, 7 girls, and junior first year, 2 girls. Oh, Amanda, I hear you on that. Multi-level troops are difficult, but there are a lot of rewards too, because the juniors can help with the brownies and really be coaches and guides as they get older. Katie, as a CME, what advice do you have for a leader of multi-level troops?
Definitely utilizing your parents. Saying, you can't do both levels at the same time. You definitely should have a second leader with you who should be working with one or both of the levels with you, but maybe splitting them up and saying, okay, we're going to have, the brownies work in one room, the juniors are going to work in one room, and then we're going to come together for the beginning ceremony and the ending ceremony of our meetings. That's a great way to kind of keep them as one troop, but they're still doing different activities. But also utilizing those parents and seeing, can they become volunteers? Can they go through the process to become members and get background checks so they can help us? And then guiding our juniors to be those role models for our brownies is a great way to do it, because the brownies look up to them and say, oh, they're getting this badge, I really want to work on that. And that's a great way to involve all of your girls.
Yeah, and I think it's important when you talk about engaging those families, because it's great when we utilize the juniors, for instance, to help with the brownies and we coach and mentor. But it's important that those juniors have their own time in their meeting, as it's important for the brownies to have their own time and to be that age. So definitely engage those families. And as far as advice on being overwhelmed, I know there's an awful lot of information, and I would suggest really identifying with other leaders in your service unit area, and you can work with an older troop, perhaps, that they can be sister Girl Scouts, and work with your CME. Check out our training. Being on the WOW Wednesday is a great start for you, and we'll discuss other training opportunities later this evening. And so, just take a deep breath and enjoy the ride also, because I believe that this will be one of your finest experiences in your lifetime. I truly believe that. So
yeah, and definitely working with your CME will allow you to get some of the resources you need. If you haven't already, definitely check out the quick guide for Girl Scouts, which is on the GSUSA website. It allows you to look at the brownie information and junior information at the same time, which might be helpful for you. So,
and the VTK, and it looks to me like she would need to probably select the brownie VTK offerings. And if you're not quite sure what and I'm sorry, I'm using jargon, which I shouldn't, the volunteer toolkit, check that out. You can get to it from the website, or talk to your CME and they can show you. What is a CME? Another piece of jargon, I'm sorry. The CME is the Community Membership Special Executive, and that's Katie's role here at Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio. So depending on your area, there is a CME who is the liaison. They're the staff liaison between council and your service unit team. Okay.
And you can always email Barb or email GSU or GSNEO to see who your CME is if you
Yeah.
don't know who that is.
Yeah, if you know your service unit number, we can let you know tonight. You can type that into the question log and we'll let you know. And then I can even put you in touch with her.
You might know her, you just might not know her
Just
title.
yeah, it's a long title. So,
All right.
okay. So let's move on. Hopefully that helped you. So Girl Scout holidays and ways to celebrate. Special days happen in Girl Scouting all year long. And throughout the year, girls and adults celebrate some very special days in Girl Scouting. In fact, we're celebrating a very special week right now. You know, so let's see, I'm not even going to ask her, but it is, right on the screen it says it's National Girl Scout Week, and it starts with Girl Scout Sunday, and Girl Scout Sunday is always the Sunday before the Girl Scout birthday, which is March 12th. So this past Sunday was Girl Scout Sunday, and Girl Scout Week ends with the Girl Scout Sabbath, which is on Saturday, and it always includes the Girl Scout birthday of March 12th. This year, it's hard to believe, we're celebrating 104 years of Juliet's dream and developing the leaders of tomorrow. So the Girl Scout Sunday and Girl Scout Sabbath give girls an opportunity to attend their place of worship and be encouraged as Girl Scouts. Sometimes, they do a flag ceremony, or they'll offer, they'll take up the collection plate, or they'll read a prayer or a poem. And if a place of worship is the group sponsor, girls may perform a service. They may be greeters or usher. These days can also be a time for girls to explore other faiths. Mm-hmm. So, maybe they'll go to a different church or synagogue or temple, and everybody can learn something new on those days. The Girl Scout birthday, March 12th, commemorates the day in 1912 when Juliet Gordon Low officially registered the organization's first 18 girl members in Savannah, Georgia. So, Amanda, are you celebrating and doing anything for Girl Scout Week? Is your troop having a birthday party or anything like that? You can just put yes or no in the question log. It's okay. I'm not seeing anything yet, but that's all right. There it is. No, we're not. I did not know about it. That's understandable. You have a cookie booth on Friday. Oh, that is fantastic. You know what? A quick suggestion, have the girls wear birthday hats at the cookie booth. And, people are going to ask, and just, they can shout it out and say, we're celebrating Daisy's birthday. Yep. Have them sing happy birthday at the cookie booth. That will help to draw some attention also to those cookies. But, and it's never too late to celebrate Juliet's birthday. And you can also check out the GSNEO website for some more great ideas on how to celebrate National Girl Scout Week. And you know what? I'll bet you'll be prepared next year for it. So, you'll find tons of ideas also in the events calendar. And good luck with your cookie booth. Those are always fun too. So, Katie, how about Girl Scout Leader Appreciation Day.
So this is probably one of our most important days to appreciate our leaders and all of our volunteers. But Girl Scout Leader Appreciation Day is April 22nd, where April is National Volunteer Month. We always want to say thank you to everyone that helps us.
Most definitely.
So this is a time for us to honor and let all of our great volunteers and leaders know how important they are to Girl Scouting. After all, Girl Scouts would not happen if it weren't for all of our volunteers who work as leaders and mentors in partnership with our girls. On April 22nd, girls, families, and communities often find special ways to thank their Girl Scout volunteers. I know it's odd to send out information to families about Leadership Appreciation Day because you are the leader, right?
Exactly.
But we have some plans and ways to help you make that happen. But remember to take this time to thank our troop helpers, your service unit team, and anyone to help make the Girl Scout experience special for you. If you would like, we are honoring our adult volunteers for their devotion for Girl Scouting at the Adult Volunteer Recognition Celebration, which will be Saturday, April 23rd from 11 to 2 at the Holiday Inn in Cleveland South. And there's pre-registration for that, which closes April 18th.
Yeah, and so Amanda, oftentimes our service units, they'll have recognition events at the end of the Girl Scout years. A lot of times, around May, they'll have a special, maybe a potluck dinner, or all the leaders will go to a restaurant or do something just to acknowledge each other. And so, if you have that opportunity, please, participate, and because it's a great way to get to know other leaders in your area. And you know what, I'll tell you, they are the best resource as you're starting your troop and getting going with everything. So also, as we are approaching May and June, and we're approaching renewal of membership, we get a lot of questions about the difference between flying up and bridging ceremonies. So we're going to try to clear up the confusion. So flying up is a bridging ceremony for Girl Scout brownies bridging to Girl Scout juniors. At this time, girls renew their Girl Scout promise and receive the Girl Scout pin. They also receive their Girl Scout brownie wings to show that they've flown up and completed their years as a brownie. A fun fact is that this tradition actually goes back to when Girl Scout leaders were called brown owls. Now, I was never called a brown owl. I wasn't in Girl Scouts way back then. Been around a while, but not that long. So, and another thing that's important about the brownie wings is that it can be transferred to each uniform. So when it starts out on their junior uniform. When they bridge to cadets, it can go onto their onto their junior uniform and onto their cadet uniform and so forth. When I was a troop leader, this was back in the day before we had iron-on patches. So we glued, we sewed, and we really got them on good. So it was really, I always purchased the brownie wings each time they bridged. So it would go on their uniform instead of having to take off from the uniform, because I really wanted, their uniforms to stay intact. So there is that option.
I've seen some leaders where they will put the brownie wings onto like a piece of felt.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then safety pin it onto their uniform, so it becomes like a pin.
I wasn't that smart. That's a good idea. Okay. So this is where it becomes confusing, I think, that brownies may also bridge to juniors. They definitely fly up to that level, but when we talk about bridging, it's because they have completed a certain number of requirements and activities that are designed to emphasize the continuity of one Girl Scout program and to introduce girls within each level to what lies ahead. So bridging usually entails working with an older group of girls and working on older, the level above them, the program, and doing some badge work. And all this can be found on the Volunteer Toolkit or in the Girl's Guide to Girl Scouting on the website, on the GSUSA website. So just remember, all Girl Scout brownies who have completed the Brownie program fly up and earn wings, and those wings can transfer to each program level. And to earn the bridge, they must accomplish the bridging requirements. Court of Awards is also a special ceremony that happens around May, June, sometimes even September and October. And a lot of these bridging ceremonies will happen even now in September. Back in the day, you hurried to get everything done with the end of school. Now, the program and membership year actually goes from October 1st through September 30th. So, if troops choose to bridge at the end of September or in September, that's fine. It's whatever works and what time is good for your troop. When they bridge in May, we want to remember that technically until July 1st, they are still in the system as brownies, for instance, and then July 1st, they will actually age up in our system to juniors. But that doesn't mean that once they have bridged that they can't participate in some of the junior programs. Some of the programs will have age limits, but we just need to, remember that. So the Court of Awards is a special ceremony that is done to recognize girls' accomplishments. So actually, you could hold a flying up ceremony, a bridging ceremony, and a Court of Awards ceremony all in one ceremony, right?
Right.
So, it can be quite a busy night. So, this is where the girls are presented their badges, their year pins, and other recognitions earned during the year. And on the slide, I just have, this cute little brownie shirt. And that was just like an invitation, or, maybe it's built around a milk box or something, and a milk carton, and all of the awards that the girls have earned that year could actually go inside of that, or else they're actually right in this little bag. So I just thought that was too cute. And then the bridge is a bridge that the girls walk across, and of course on this bridge has the law. So a pallet, that you can get at Home Depot or something like that is a great resource. So, and again, these ceremonies are usually girl planned, and parents can be invited, and it makes it a special evening, and it's a great time for girls to exhibit or talk about the things that they've done to earn these recognitions. And Court of Awards sometimes can be done actually a couple of times a year. So because some leaders prefer to give the recognitions out after the girls have earned them, because they feel that the girls forget. And there is a little truth to that. I remember the girls standing with their ribbons of many triads or many badges and going, I don't know what I did for this. And I said, okay, remember when? And then they would be able to, oh yeah, that's when we did this.
We used to have them all throughout the year. That way we could watch our sashes and our vests grow with what we were earning. So
that's nice. Okay, so let's see, just double check any questions. Oh, Amanda mentioned that they have their leader dinner in May, so
Oh,
that's great. I hope you'll plan to go, Amanda. It's always a good time with, friends and
Oh, yeah.
sisters. So, Katie, tell us about Founders Day.
Great. So Juliette Gordon Lowe's birthday, or Founders Day, because Juliette Gordon Lowe founded the Girl Scouts, in case you didn't know, is October 31st, which marks the birth in 1860 of Girl Scouts leader, founder Juliette Gordon Lowe in Savannah, Georgia. She was a believer in the potential of all girls and the importance of fostering their individual growth, character, and self-sufficiency. Juliette is credited with establishing and nourishing a global movement that has changed the world. What a better way to honor and reflect upon our founders' strength and devotion to this movement than having a ceremony. Oftentimes, Founders Day ceremonies will include not only birthday cake and candles, but also a donation to the Juliette Lowe World Friendship Fund.
Yeah, and in fact, on October 31st, on the founder's birthday, we always have cake in the service center. So,
I like to celebrate.
At least stop in, because it's always out in the reception area for you. So. So other ways, I think birthday, I heard earlier this afternoon, because, the founder's birthday does fall on another pretty fun holiday of Halloween. I've heard of other service units having big birthday Halloween type bashes. So because the girls, they want to go out trick-or-treating, but they try to, also include the birthday celebration in that, so that everybody can enjoy. So. All right. So investiture and rededication. Sometimes there's a little confusion on this as well. But the investiture ceremony welcomes new girls and adults into the Girl Scout family for the first time. Girls and adults make the Girl Scout promise and receive their Girl Scout brownie or daisy pin at this time, or actually whichever pin they're starting with. And traditionally, this is the first time they may wear the Girl Scout membership pin. And we want to remember that you're invested in Girl Scouts once, and then from thereafter you are rededicated. So as a troop leader, I used to also invest my parents that were members, and I felt that it was, got them involved. It helped them to understand that they too were a part of this troop and a part of developing these girls as Girl Scouts and future leaders. So, you may have to ask them to pay for their own pin, but, often the investiture takes place along with a rededication ceremony, because, you want to remember, as the girls get older, you hopefully will be bringing in new girls. So, invest those that are new and rededicate those that have stayed with the troop. And, it also is a process of renewing and reaffirming their belief in the Girl Scout promise and the law and what it means to them. So usually these ceremonies are held in the beginning of the Girl Scout year because of the importance of these events, a beautiful and a meaningful ceremony should be planned. We used to do our dedication also at our rededication at our first camp out. So usually it was in October, and we'd do it around the campfire, and the girls would write notes to their future selves, and then they'd put them into the fire and watch them go up. And I hate to say watch them go up in smoke, because their future dreams, they did not go up in smoke, but went out and into the universe is how I should say it. So, but, just to reiterate, the council does have bridges to loan to service units or to troops. Flags are available. All you need to do is contact our registration department, and they can help you with that, or email customercare@gsneo.org.
And you can definitely find all sorts of different scripts for investiture ceremonies and rededication ceremonies, just in case, we all know the promise and we all know the law, but if you want a beginning, middle, and end to your ceremony as well.
Exactly. So, World Thinking Day, we just celebrated this. Amanda, let us know if you participated in any type of World Thinking Day celebration. This is held on February 22nd, and it celebrates the birthdays of both Lord Robert Baden-Powell, founder of the Boy Scouts, and his wife, Lady Olive Baden-Powell, co-founder of the Girl Guides, along with her husband. So each year, girls and adults participate in activities and projects with global themes to honor their sister Girl Guides and Girl Scouts from 146 other countries. That is one big celebration. And it's a special day in the Girl Scout year when we remember that we're part of a worldwide organization and mission. So we did not, my leader was out of town and I'm the co-leader. Okay, that's understandable. That happens. You guys may want to, take a look at it for next year. And also, Amanda, just remember, co-leader is an important role. And, if the leader is out of town, and it's something that the girls want to participate in, you and a couple of your parents who are approved volunteers can take the girls. Or you can, depending on the event, you can still advertise it for the girls to participate on their own. So
yeah, a lot of the service units, even if you don't have a table at the event, maybe your girls can still go and learn about the different countries that the other girls are presenting.
Yeah, so just always keep an eye open for ways for the girls to participate. So not only do we, get together and do the friendship circle and think about, and actually we do it in a horseshoe formation, because the open end helps us to remember all the Girl Scouts and Girl Guides around the world that are celebrating World Thinking Day at the same time. So not only do we do that, but we also can collect donations for, again, the Juliet Low World Friendship Fund. And I know we've mentioned that a couple times, so I just wanted to let you know that after her death in 1927, Juliet's friends honored her by establishing this World Friendship Fund, and it finances international projects for Girl Scouts and Girl Guides around the world. And the fund was created because of Daisy's interest and love for the international sisterhood of all Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. And it continues to promote peace and goodwill among the girls of the world. So, it supports Girl Guides and Girl Scouts in the USA and Girl Guides in other countries. It also helps guiding get started and Girl Scouting get started in other countries, and helps to pay for travel expenses for guides and Girl Scouts to attend international events and camps at the World Centers and other sites. So it's a pretty awesome donation to contribute to. So one last ceremony that I think we should discuss is the Girl Scouts' own ceremony. And this is a girl-planned program that lets girls explore their feelings around a topic such as friendship or the Girl Scout promise and law, using favorite songs, poetry, or other forms of expression. This is not a religious ceremony like some of the others might be. Excuse me. It's a time when girls reaffirm their ideals, and it embodies the Girl Scout promise, law, and the mission. And let's see. Excuse me. So these ceremonies should be planned and carried out by the girls with their leaders. This type of ceremony is usually a little more informal. It's often unrehearsed and can take place anywhere or anytime, and it doesn't last long, usually 15 to 20 minutes. And usually when no other activities are planned. So, if you're at Corps camp or something where, you've got activities coming up, or a service unit camp out coming up, and there are a lot of activities, wait till the evening if you just want to have a ceremony around the campfire or something. You don't want to be crunched for time. So, I wanted to mention swaps because, swaps are great for any activity, event, or ceremony. And sometimes girls like to create swaps for certain ceremonies. And if you're not sure of what a swap is, it is a special, whatchamacallit, affectionately pinned somewhere. And they're small tokens of friendship made by girls and adults to exchange with other Girl Scouts that they meet while traveling or attending council or service unit events. I went to the 100th anniversary Rock the Mall in Washington, D.C., the big song fest with 250,000 of my best friends, really. And it was incredible. And people were exchanging swaps, and I have swaps from all over the world, which is just, for me, it's incredible because I'm not going to see the whole world, but I have something from many places. And so, swaps are just a fun little token, and they should tell something about the givers or their group, and they represent the giver's country, community, or a local Girl Scout council. There are, there are a few swaps and safety etiquette, I think, that, first of all, never refuse to swap with another person. And just because, maybe you don't have swaps to exchange, but that doesn't mean you can't accept one in friendship. So swapping face-to-face is best, especially if exchanging addresses or email information. We don't want to be doing that over the internet, and it's not a good thing. And avoid using glass or sharp objects in swaps, although, most of them do have a pin attached to them.
This is true.
So, and follow all safety activity checkpoint guidelines regarding swaps. Avoid using food products unless they're individually wrapped. Yeah, I don't really like it when people put food in them. I just not the best idea.
Yeah, usually they're teeny tiny, and you can pin them somewhere and keep them forever.
Exactly.
And if it's food, it's kind of,
yeah, it goes bad.
Yeah,
and it goes bad quickly. So we want to, we're coming to the end here, and we really want to keep track of our time. So some ceremony resources. There are so many resources out there, and I think Katie mentioned a few of them already. GSUSA has a traditions page, so if you're looking for, any information, that's great. The Girls Guide to Girl Scouting, Pinterest. Oh my gosh. Well, and if you're a new leader, Pinterest is wonderful, but time yourself, because it will become so overwhelming, because there are so many things. I go in, I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. Oh gosh, why didn't I think of that when I was a troop leader? And then I get, all of a sudden it's 3 hours later, and so I think we all know we have to be a little careful with Pinterest.
Yes, I love Pinterest. But as a new leader, just remember, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you have an idea, probably somebody else has a similar idea, and you can definitely share your Girl Scout information that way.
And as a joke, I did put my office up, and basically what I meant by that, I have several ceremony books that I've collected over the years. I've collected them from other councils. And you're more than welcome to, borrow them or come into the Macedonia office and borrow one and sit down here in one of the conference rooms. But, not only do I have these books, but, we have them in our offices. Our alumni, find a Girl Scout volunteer who's been around a while. They're sure to have so many things on hand. But our history committee, they also, and the internet has a lot of resources. Customer care in the registration office, they also have some books that you can borrow. And for like ceremony classes, if you want to learn how to do a proper flag etiquette ceremony, any ceremonies. We do have ALE classes, and ALE is Adult Learning Experience. It's held in August at Camp Ledgewood, the 11th through the 13th. It will be going up on the calendar mid-April. You can register. The book will be online. There will be a few books, printed books that are a limited supply. They'll be available in the service centers. And, for instance, off the top of my head, we have a few ceremony and songs, ceremony traditions, and there's a new class. It's called Thank You, Merci, Gracias. And so you can really learn an awful lot at ALE. On a lot of different topics. So it's just a fun few days at camp for the adults. So, okay, let's see. Okay. So remember, ceremony should be meaningful, right? Good ceremonies have clear purpose and enrich the meaning and mood of the event.
Ceremonies should definitely be devoted to a sufficient amount of time. We don't want to be rushing through our ceremony. We want to make sure that they're planned and rehearsed as well.
Yeah, take any safety precautions when using candles, or fire. Make sure the girls are safe. And when the girls construct bridges or platforms, make sure they're secure, that they're using gloves. Check again, safety activity checkpoints. Refer to volunteer essentials, and just have the girls' safety in mind at all times. And think about substitutions like flashlights.
Mm-hmm. So you could definitely add personal elements to the traditional ceremonies, using a favorite poem, song, or stories, or even having your girls write something to make it more personal to them.
Consider the role of colors and symbols and that the girls might use in their ceremony. You can change the color of candles. You can put ribbons around the candles, and if you look in the Girl Guides, they will have what colors symbolize certain things.
So you definitely want to observe flag etiquette during your flag ceremonies. While we didn't discuss much of it here, there is a great deal of info on this subject. You can definitely take that class in ALB as well.
Okay, and most of all, Girl Scouting is girl-led, so let the girls plan, but have a few surprises. Remember, it's their ceremony, and but it's really fun when they're surprised with something special, whether it's a small token or just a little something that they had no idea was going to happen. And so, have fun and celebrate, because after all, it's Girl Scouts. So, so that's it for this evening. I don't see any other questions. Our next Wow Wednesday chat is Wednesday, April 13th at noon or 6 p.m. If you were registered for this one, you're also registered for that one. So you just have to tune in and you'll receive a reminder. So we hope you'll join us. That call, Emily Fletcher Fine, our fantastic director of program, and her team are going to be offering information about camp fun and camp life and summer fun, and tell you about all the different types of camps. I was looking through that camp. I really want to go to summer camp.
I love summer.
Oh gosh, it was so fun. So if you have topics for the future, please let me know. Just email training@gsneo.org and put Wow Wednesday in the subject line, and I'll look forward to hearing any ideas. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining us. And thank you so much for all that you do. It's greatly appreciated. Good night, everyone.
Good night.